of this foot to run to it. Players will have different ways of doing that. You can keep an eye. But what we're looking at is the locking out when they get there. They must get used to a fluid movement through it. Off you go. And we're there. If I miss the block and the ball hits me, it's only a soft ball. So that the player now is very, very safe doing their first few blocks. Off you go. And I come down. Okay? And again, Leo. And that's all it is. And then after they do that one, for example, off you go. That they run after it and they get it. So we're just trying to take every component slowly, build their confidence that they can do every part of it. No one got hit. The thoughts of getting hit are not in our heads at all. We're just doing it. And that's where you want them to be. You want them in that kind of frame of mind that this is something that they're well able to do. They don't get hurt doing it, and they carry it out. There you go. How are you? Have you a partner? Yeah. Okay. So you're going to, yeah. Okay. Ideally, we'd want it the same way for the block as well. Okay. So that you don't turn twice. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. You're kind of coming that way. So come from there and hurley up. Okay, go again. Yeah, much better. And this time now, you're going to do exactly that and follow on for this. Perfect. So it's just building confidence as they go. We'll look at another one there now in a moment for building it as well. We'll take it back here just to try and breed a little bit of confidence in that child who is nervous. Kids will fool you. Kids will cod you. They'll do things that make you think that, you know, that they want to be there, and that they're not nervous when they are. So they'll half challenge for a ball and are glad when it's clear down the other end because the pressure's off. There are lots of children who are glad the ball is down the other end of the pitch. They don't want the ball. So they just don't really feel comfortable when they're in possession. They don't feel comfortable in the contact of getting it. So they don't need that pressure, so it's much better when the ball's down there. So how can we help them to get over that little, I suppose it's a barrier really, and how do we push through it? So I have players who are a bit shy, who maybe don't like the physical contact. In the clash situation, they're not maybe getting involved, they stay out. You want to get them through it, you want to get them over it. You want confident learners, you want confident people. So you want the two girls or the two boys that you're coaching to be able to just carry out the normal skill of the game and used to the proximity of another person. So lads, all I'm going to do is I'll say go and you come out and you strike the football. The two of you, yeah. Go! Okay. Back you go again. Go! Okay. Go! All right. So you can see it gets a little bit more competitive without us saying we're competitive. And we all keep a very just normal face as if we don't really want to hit it first. And the kids will be exactly the same. All I'm going to do is, now I'm going to let them take charge of the coaching session. So they become the leaders now of the session. I won't be doing it. So Finbar, you'll say go. Right. Oh, you're okay. That's up to you. No, you're just saying go, Finbar. All right. Okay. So John, this time you say go. Okay. You don't have to wait for him. You don't have to wait for him now anymore, okay? Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay? So you don't have to wait for him, you'll just say go. Okay, so the lads are a little out of breath. One's calling go, He's maybe a step ahead when he says go, maybe half a step, maybe 2 steps, Finbar. Finbar, you call this one? All right, now, so when Finbar calls go, it's an interesting technique, I'm sure you'll agree. So Finbar says, go, and then John has a decision to make. Now, I never told John what decision to make, but John is coming out for the flick or the block, and he has to make that decision himself. So I'm not telling him. He's now coaching himself. In his head, he's starting his game for us. John, time for revenge. You can say go whenever you want. All right. So now Finbar is learning. Okay, so when he says go, he goes a step ahead of me. I've got to use my flick, okay, or my block. So John, you ready again? And now the second time he makes sure he gets it. So they're coaching themselves. So it's head, hands and feet. Thank you, Leo. Okay, so that's our flick. So we have a player now who knows when to flick, who knows when to pull, who knows when to block. He knows the timing of everything. Go. Okay, and again. Go. So can you see their faces? Can you see their eyes? Watch them again. If you can't see their eyes, get somewhere where you can. Pick one player and just look at his eyes. Go. Look at that. So yeah, but they're totally focused on that. They're totally focused on it. So we know now that we're in that. We're in that. And no more, you're okay. So we know that we're in it. Now, this is very straight line, and I'm not a huge fan of straight lines. I like when we're more games based. These skills I wouldn't do a training session where I do all these skills in the session and say, right now go home, you can do all of that. They'd be built up, you know, independently at different times. I wouldn't want you to give the idea this is what a session should look like when you have the kids. I would want them moving more. I would want more games going on. So we'll have a look at games now in a moment, okay? That's a good one for just building up either small kids who are starting out to get them into it, or kids who are maybe a little bit nervous around it. You can get the whole team going on it. A few weeks ago we had the Limerick Development Squad. Who else did we have? We had 2 Cork divisions, Tipperary and someone else out there playing, and we ran through that with them and they loved it. They were laughing doing it and everyone was giving it a go. So the ones who are good at clashing won't lose out because you spent 10 minutes making kids decide whether you're flicking or striking. And by letting them decide it, then you're, again, like we said, they're in the arena. The player is in the arena and they have to know how to make decisions or we're going nowhere. I'll divide you into 2 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that okay? And we'll talk about numbers again later. So it's 6v6. Is that okay? All right. So 6v6. All you're doing is you're keeping possession. There isn't a minimum number of hand passes of throws. We don't need hand passes. It'll slow it up. So you can throw the ball to one another, and you try and throw it into the opponent's goal then. Okay? The only rule is you must be in the opponent's half to try and score. So you can throw the ball to one another in any order you want. You throw it to anyone on your team, and you're just trying to get it into their goal up there.
Doesn't matter the hand.
No. And as soon as you're into their half, you can go for goal. Half is here. So once you're in there, yeah. I'll have another cone out here anyway later. Okay, ready? Go. Great goal, well done, 1-0. It came off you in your half, it counts. Yeah.
And again, here, look.
Okay? So the game works fine. We've movement, we've people catching ball under pressure, we've a lot going on in it. They're learning a bit of team play, but now I want to teach them more team play, and I want to get some kind of tactic into it. So I'll give instructions as we go, and we'll change the game slightly, we'll just modify it. If we had helmets and if we had a bit more space, obviously we'd be using the hurleys a lot more, but we're gonna keep it as safe as we possibly can. So the idea is here that we're going to try and keep the players thinking tactically as they play it now. So that's a nice warm-up in a way, but there isn't really a tactic. One or two things did happen. The two ladies here made great runs up into the forwards, but the ball didn't get to them. So we had two brilliant runs that weren't rewarded at all. Now you'd have to say to a player, you might make 10 of those and only one comes off. But we could also teach them, that the rest of the team, that there are really good runs happening that we could use. You can teach your teams how to cope with a sweeper. How would you overload a sweeper, and how would you break an attack, and when it falls down you all come back again. So we'll have a rule for that also. So the yellow cone is important now as our halfway mark. So you're number one. No, sorry, are you coaching or playing? One, so you're safe. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then over here, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 and number 6. Number 1 can only pass to number 2. 2 can only pass to 3. 6 can only pass to 1. Now what that will do is watch the run of the person. If you're a coach, watch the run of the person who doesn't have the ball. Phenomenal running, phenomenal. And the work that you'll do when you're in possession and out of possession, phenomenal. So you can only pass on 1. Yeah, okay? If you're number 6, you can pass back around to number 1, okay? And we're off, go!
Let's go. 1.
You can still score from inside their half. Who can he pass to? That's it, he didn't move. Where is he? He has to move. Where is he? Come on, lads. That can't be right. Went back to the same guy. Let's go. He's not looking. He is now. Great ball. Very good. So the team down here is starting to talk to one another about who's what number. People are going on long runs. We're getting scores. Let's go. Good movement. Unlucky. You'd go to 1. 6 went to 5 there. That's okay. Take it again. Go. Where's he gone? Okay, so we're lower scoring, but we're thinking more. Here's the next one. In order to score, your full team must be in the other team's half. In order to score, your full team must be in. We'll allow one person stay back to mind the house. So there are 6 of you. That means at any time to score, there must be 5 of you in the half. You don't have 5 in? You do? Unlucky. Okay, so they got 5 in. They're starting to call one another now. 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go. Good catch. 1 minute to go. Well done, and you found him. Very good. Great idea. Well done. 4 get free. 5, you need to get free. 5. Well done. 6 needs to be free. Get them all in. Get them all in. Get them all in. Great score, well done. Okay, bring it over. So you see yourself the first minute of the 1 to 6. There's a lot of talking. There's a lot of, was I 5 again? Who do I give it to? There's a bit of that. Was I 7? No, there's only 6 of us. So what's going on, you know? All of that stuff. So now your players are starting to talk to one another. You're taking yourself a little bit out of the equation. You can every now and then just choose not to answer the question. I don't know who is number 2 in your team. I didn't see. And let them figure it out. Like we all knew, actually you probably knew the numbers of the other team and your own team by the end of it. You knew every time she gets the ball, every time it goes that way, every time it comes over there. So you knew then, but it still didn't work. You still couldn't stop them if they were all moving. And that confidence they get from, we have a tactic and we're trying it and it's working. So they're thinking tactically and they're getting great confidence out of it as they do it. What we did there is an invasion game, and the idea with an invasion game is that obviously you invade the opponent's half. You start out small with little target games, and so that might be striking the ball over and back to one another, and you might put 2 little cones and it goes through the cone and you give yourself a point every time it goes through, or dribble the ball around the cones and take a shot on goal, and all those target things. And then court games, something like no man's land, where there's a team there and a team there and they're putting ball on top of one another to catch. But where you're getting to is the full-on invasion game like you had there. And it gets them, you know, it gets them working when they're tired, it gets them working together, it gets them doing all of those things. And while it's fine there, us throwing the ball, it works very, very well in a space where they've the hurley and the helmet. And now the one thing is it looks messy sometimes. It looks like from someone up in the bank, they'll look at you saying, what's going on there? Sure, they're dropping ball. But that's the idea, that they're out of the comfort zone where it's too easy. It shouldn't be so easy for them. So they must be at a point where they're under more pressure than they've been under before, or the ball is moving faster than it has before for them. All of these things, they must be getting on to the next little level. Okay? And in a safe way that they're confident about going to that level. Likewise, you could do one where, that one's handy for if you want to teach, if you're coaching any team before you play a team that plays a sweeper, that you learn to overload the sweeper, that we attack in a wave and the sweeper becomes less relevant, for example. Or you could say you must always have 2 players back if you want to be very defensive, and you must always have 2 players back, or whatever it is. And there's no harm in having them maybe adjust to all of these things themselves. They're coaching themselves as well as we go. They're coaching themselves. Okay. We'll finish with one short court game that we'll adapt into an invasion game, just to show you how you go from one style into the other. Is that okay? So your only job at the moment is a simple court game. You're going to strike the ball down into their square and they'll try and catch it. You're going to try and catch the ball when they hit it. This can be your grid here from the orange to the blue. And when one of you catches the ball, you just strike it back and they try and catch it. Give your team a point if you catch the ball cleanly, yeah? You can go all the way out to the orange there as well. So give your team a point if you 3 points if you catch it cleanly, 1 point if you take a touch first. If you take 2 touches, nothing. Okay? So you get 3 points every time you catch it cleanly. If you take a touch, it's down to 1. And if you take 2 touches, no. Right, Trees, off you go. Okay, so it's a simple court game. They're just striking the ball, catching. There isn't a whole lot of pressure. Some sessions never go beyond court sessions. They're not lined out like a court, but they don't go beyond it. And then when the kids can't catch ball in a match, the trainer goes back into themselves and says, we did it at training. We did it. We did it at training. And you were catching it at training. And now we're out in the match and you can't do it. But this isn't a match. So this is just court. And we're going to have to move them on into a little bit more something else soon. Okay. So that's fine. I'm just saying to the others there, that's a court game and it's very comfortable for you. You do it in training and then it doesn't work in a match. Nobody's catching the ball and I give out to you. And I say, I taught you how to catch. And now you're dropping it in the match and it's your fault, it's not mine. But in fact, it's my fault completely because none of you are under pressure and it's too easy. So we'll have a go. So your only job is to stop the two lads catching ball, okay? All right, so we'll start with your strike. So you're just leaving it up for them to catch. You're not trying to hit your own man at all. Okay, and back out, Connor. Lovely. Well done. So now they're under pressure. We're not getting as many catches. So it'll take a while for them to adjust to it and how they strike as well. So now they're running a session. So I'm not giving many more instructions other than here's what the game is, here's the objective, and off you go. And now they'll adapt as they go. And as it gets, like, again, you can still see it's quite pedestrian and it's kind of strolling and they're all within a comfort zone. So we'll have to change something in a minute. Okay, thanks lads. Okay, so here's the one. So now you're allowed to tackle them. And you're allowed to tackle them up here. Whoever gets the ball, whoever catches it, is not the person who strikes it out. So for example, when you win it, you have to give it to Connor and he'll get it out. Same here. So whoever catches the ball is not the person who strikes it back out. So for example, Finbar, if you win the ball, you have to, so you're going to get tackled and you've got to get the ball out. And you've got to win it and get it out fast and accurately, okay? All right, so Finbar, will you strike it at him? Lovely. So win it, must go to Connor. You're allowed to tackle him. So now earlier we did hooking and blocking. Will we see a hook or a block? Usual strike to shorten the hurley. There he goes, he gives it, and it's gone again. Lovely, great ball. Well done, well won. Sorry, Connor. So now they're starting to learn how to run to the space, how to get the tackle in, where to go. You see, the tackler nearly has an advantage here. So even though there's an overload, it works very well if you have if you have the space and you're running a 3-and-1 or a 4-and-2 or something like that, or a 5-and-2. I like when there's 5-and-2, you have a bit more space. You'll notice the accuracy of the shots are a little out as well. They're finding it hard now to hit the space. You could open the space for them in that. A lot of